Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So it's Sunday, so it's time for what? It's time for us to actually look forward at what's going on in the week coming, right? So just wanted to make a couple of notes. Amex, wow, they're going to offer a new credit card that is going to give you crypto rewards. How interesting is that? Peter Schiff, not really a big crypto fan, like at all. Gold is his favorite toy. Is saying that as inflation rises, if it keeps rising, people are going to sell Bitcoin. He expects Bitcoin firms to go out of business, go bankrupt. And this is all as whales keep weighing in and buying up crypto. They're not just buying it, but they're buying it in a way that would make it so that they don't affect the market. Because if they bought at their levels, crypto would shoot up, right? So they're doing over-the-counter transactions, meaning, doesn't affect the broad market, but they can acquire that amount of crypto. So that's something to contemplate. Just looking at Peter Schiff, it's interesting to me that he would say that. I would think that some firms would go bankrupt maybe because they're over leveraged. But I don't know that they're going to go bankrupt because Bitcoin goes down, right? If you're properly positioned, you're going to be buying Bitcoin. Seriously. Something else that I wanted to key in on is Coinbase, as you know, is not my favorite platform for many reasons. So Brian Armstrong, their CEO, has called an anonymous petition to oust their COO, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Product Officer, and Chief People Officer. He's calling it really dumb on multiple levels, sorry. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going, you just did rug pulls on people you offered jobs to that had accepted those jobs. And you think people are not going to react to that? I don't know. I just find it to be funny because I would think that people would react even, more heavily than they have. I mean, letting go 10% of people, your NFT launch didn't go well, you're doing the rug pull on new employees and, offered employees, new hires, and you're still making investments while doing all that. Yeah, there's going to be backlash. And I don't expect it to end. I think people are really recalculating if they want to work for Coinbase. All right. That makes sense to call their decision to let management know that they don't agree really dumb. That I see you care about your people. Good job. This coming week, what do we have? We already know that the Fed is going to raise rates by 50 basis points. We already know this. The question is, are they going to raise rates, 75 basis points thereafter, or stick with the 50? Because inflation rose again, could they become more hawkish? Who knows? All what I do know is that there was a major sell-off of Ethereum. And so what does that mean to me? It means it's on sale and I'm DCAing. I'm using dollars cost averaging to buy in. Am I going to dump everything in right now? No. And the reason why I don't plan to do so is because I'm expecting there to be further fall, right? You've got nothing but bad news coming up this week, even though it's expected. So Ethereum might not do well. Might not do well, but might not have their merge in August, most likely toward November. So that's a big disappointment for people. So, okay, I get it. Not a problem. But, nothing's perfect, but they have been doing well with this merge, and I think that it's going to go. But you've had a big sell-off, and the big problem is, Celsius, TVL protocol on Ethereum is not doing well at all. A lot of rumors going around about it about what's going on with it. So you kind of sit there and you kind of go, yeah, that's not good news. So yeah, there's going to be a big sell-off, and there was. When you look at the numbers, I mean, DeFi Llama has, and I'm not showing you the numbers right now because it's not really about numbers per se, right? You know what? As a matter of fact, if I'm going to look at it, I might as well let you look at it too with me. So if you look at DeFi Llama, we're under the $100 billion mark. Remember earlier last week, middle last week, I said, $100 billion mark is the number to pay attention to. So I think that we could see a precipitous fall from here. I really do. I mean, we could see this drop down to 50. Do I think it would wind up building back up? Yes. But do I think we can initially see a fall? Yeah. Yeah. That $100 billion mark was a big deal. At least for me, it was. Bitcoin is below 27,000. So I want to show you what that means. So this is my inner band in blue. Here's my next band, my middle band in yellow, because we had not passed that, we had not breached that point in a while. And now look at that. We're hurtling toward, my bottom band at 25. Do I think we can see that again? Yes, absolutely. I think it's highly possible that even though it's expected, I think that when they raise rates by the 50 basis points, we're going to see another dip. I really do. So that's why I'm not putting everything in today. I'm going to put some in today in case, it maintains and there's no dip, because everybody knows the 50 basis points is coming. But if the minutes lean toward, 75 basis points the next time, that is going to have a huge effect, and we'll see a big fall. We would see a big fall, I think, until people, kind of catch themselves and kind of go, what are we doing? I think that's what would happen. As I look at it. So looking at this, I'm like, yeah, we're at 26.6, 26.7. Yeah, 25 is a real thing. That's a real thing that can happen. So when I look at this and I look at Ethereum's at 1,400 now. I'm going to put a little bit in now. I'm going to put a little bit in Bitcoin now, right? I'm already heavy in a couple of other areas. So I'm not heavy in Bitcoin. I'm not heavy in Ethereum. I do hold, but I wouldn't consider myself heavy. So I'm going to pay attention to that. That's what I'm going to pay attention to. So when I go in, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to put in a little bit in both. And then when it dips again, because I expect it to, I'm going to put in some more. That's honestly the way I'm looking at it. Do I expect any good news this week? No. I mean, I think everybody's forgotten. We still have macro events that are affecting us. Inflation, Russia's illegal war, unnecessary war, no less. And there's going to be follow-on macro events because of food shortages. Both Ukraine and Russia are big grain exporters. That's going to be a problem for the world. Right? I mean, you've got it bad when you go to the when women go to the store and there's a tampon shortage. Like, what? Yeah, that's a thing. That really is a thing. Really is a thing. So, yeah, I'm expecting more downturn. I really am. So I might wait until tomorrow to buy in, but I think I could put in a little bit now, and then DCA, right? And then when it goes back up, I make more money faster instead of waiting to figure out to call a bottom. I don't know how to call a bottom. Many people don't. They have metrics and numbers and all this other stuff, but I don't see that happening right now. So that's what I'm looking at for the rest of the week. Is I expect there to be a dip, Tuesday, Wednesday. I expect us to be in extreme fear in terms of the fear and greed index. Expect us to be there for a really long time. Do I expect all this pent up energy to start to, take off in the, later as we go later in the year? Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do. And I think there's money there. So if there's money there, just saying, these things happen, and these things can happen quickly, right? We need one macro event that could really change the market. Just one. Just one. Russia pulling out of Ukraine would not be it. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, Russia annexes Ukraine. That would have a huge long-term effect, like really long-term, right? Really, really long-term. That would be a problem for Russia. And I think eventually they're going to I think at some point they're going to have to capitulate, but leave that to the experts, right? But we would need something to give. We would need inflation to give. We would need the war in Russia, the war in Ukraine to give, to subside, to stop. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's not war. It's not war. It's murder. That's just me. But looking how everything affects the market, the crypto market, because I'm not really big on stock. So when I say market, I mean crypto market, unless I say stock market. So that's something to think about. Now, I wanted to touch on one other thing. A friend of mine sent me a link to a company that she had wanted to look at. As soon as I got to the website, the first thing I saw was that it was a foreign company doing business in the United States. Didn't have a United States address. Red flag. 2 red flags, right? Foreign company, no United States address. 2 red flags. Then I saw a really slick trick. This is a really slick trick. When you're licensed in the United States, commodities, Series 766, all those, stock market things that are there, you're supposed to have it on every page of your website. What this company did is they said company, and then they had a company number. That's not a United States license. Okay? There's a reason why FTX has a separate, there's a reason why Binance has a separate company operating in the United States, because that's what you're supposed to do. So if you automatically see something it's a foreign company asking you for money and they're going to pay you high dividends, wait a minute. Really? Sound too good to be true? It is. It is. It's a freaking Ponzi scheme. And I told her, I said, that clearly this is a Ponzi scheme. Why would you even be sending that to me? Don't send me this shit anymore. I told her how to do this, before, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And she laughed because she knew it was a Ponzi scheme. But she was just like, just she sent it as an example of, look at all these companies that are doing this. They're registered in freakish, nations outside of the United States. And you're just like, what the hell country is this? So that means they're not registered in the United States to give financial advice, but that's what they're doing, is giving financial advice. I don't give financial advice. I tell you what I'm doing. I tell you what I'm talking about with my kids and what my kids are doing. But I do not give you financial advice. I never will. The only advice I will give is pay attention to things like that. To me, those are red flags. I'm not going to buy into it. Simple. Right? You should pay attention to things like that, because there are a lot of companies out there and they're making big money. Another company that she had done a little bit of business with, luckily she was able to pull all her money out, even pulled a little bit of a profit. But I told her that company was bogus. I told her that company, there was something stinky about that company. Guess what? The guy got arrested by New York State. He went from 80-something people being involved in his company to 66,000, over 66,000. He got arrested by New York State. New York State dropped the case. They said, oh, we'll drop the case. He's still on home monitoring. You know what that means? That means he's got fancy jewelry that's probably owned by the feds. Seriously. I mean, if it looks like Ponzi, sniffs like Ponzi. If somebody tells you they're going to give you, 10% every week from now on, yeah, nah. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. All right. So I tell my kids that so they can be sure, I still have to shoot the video on bank fraud, on, cashier check fraud. I will do that. I just haven't had time. It's been a busy weekend. Had my high school class reunion yesterday. Had a blast with all my friends. It was great seeing everybody. Shout out to you all, Bronx Science in the house. Love you all. But I think that you should be mindful of what you're doing. I'm actually going to talk to one of my friends. He trains people to get licensed to do stock markets and all that good stuff, like Series 7, Series 63, all that licensing stuff. And I'm going to speak with him about. We started talking about it last night, but I'm going to speak with him about putting together a class to teach people how to find a good financial advisor and what a bad financial advisor looks like, right? And the reason why is because there are so many scams out there that you really should get a lesson on what that is. So I'm going to talk to him about what that should look like, and we'll start trying to pull that together. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's march forward, into this next week, doing our own research so we can grow our bags, right? Because that's what I do. That's right there on the wall. My work is to do my own research, DYOR, and the goal is to grow my bag, GMB. That should be all of our goals. Because as we grow ours, we're taking care of our kids, taking care of our families. That's what it's all about. Anyway, Eddie J on crypto. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like what I'm doing and you find it useful. And also, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Lets me know and my kids know that, it's actually liked and it's, useful to people. And the other part is, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know every time I'm dropping a new video. Anyway, you have a great day. Bye-bye.